Hey guys, Fake Rooster here, and I wanted to talk a bit about War Thunder. Now, it's not a game I've really mentioned on the channel before, however, it has actually ended up being one of my most played Steam games and one of my favourites to play on PC, but not entirely for the reasons you might expect. First and foremost, I'm not good at War Thunder. I'm totally and utterly terrible, I'd say about 99.9% of the time, but believe it or not, that 0.1% genuinely makes me come back and makes me want to keep playing. I had tried War Thunder in the past on Xbox, however, I was never really satisfied with the controls, I couldn't really grasp them, it felt a bit clunky, so it was a game I had somewhat written off pre-PC. Now, I am someone that is completely fascinated by history, so the concept of playing with these historical vehicles and the combined arms nature of the game was something I did enjoy and something I sort of missed. Now, lockdown happened, and when that happened, I started to go down some rabbit holes. I started checking out content creators I'd never heard of or never seen before, and most of them in games that I hadn't played. In particular, I discovered Fly Daily. I watched a good few of his montages and his videos and became a regular subscriber, and I started to really enjoy his content, which was all based on War Thunder. Again, a game I didn't have a lot of experience with, but he made some really entertaining videos and some interesting content, and it made me more interested in the game than I had been in the past. Through him, I ended up down another rabbit hole of a YouTuber called Operator Drewski, who I think I've mentioned before on the channel, who makes videos in tactical FPS and simulator games in the likes of DCS and Arma. Again, games I don't have, but he made them really entertaining to watch and enjoy. And for me, that kind of shifted my thoughts on sort of YouTubers and gaming, is that I don't just watch content from games that I play. I started watching content because it was interesting or entertaining, regardless of my knowledge of those games, and it became a really good escape for me in lockdown, and it's something I've carried on since then. When I got my PC, War Thunder was one of the first games I actually downloaded because I really wanted to see how it was different on PC. I found it to be a much more satisfying experience and one that was easier to control with mouse and keyboard. And it does have an incredibly steep learning curve, which I'm tackling from time to time. I wouldn't say I've climbed it at all, but I do feel like I am slowly making progress in the game. And you will see from the footage in the background, there are some things I do that seem really basic, but have taken me a long time to learn, like maneuvering, positioning, smoking when I need to smoke, that sort of thing. But it's the experience of learning that I'm enjoying from it. And I had got a lot, not only from putting time into the game, but from watching Fly Daily and some of his guides and videos and things that he had done more modernly and in the past as well. I still have absolutely shocking games that are nothing but pain. However, some things I am good at. Sometimes I have a good game where I get a good cap off or a flank, or I can spot or even get a kill, which, quite shocking for me. But it is a lot of fun. And it got me thinking about, is it better, really realistically, is it better, if you had to think about it, to be good at a game or to have fun? Now, when I first started getting into video games, I thought being good was what made it fun. I thought, above all else, if you're good at something, you should stick with that genre of game or that style of game, and that's why I've played FPS games for such a long time. It's because it was what I was good at, especially when I was younger and had fast reflexes. However, now, as I'm getting older, I find myself looking for challenges, new styles of game, new mechanics to learn, and sometimes that means when you're experiencing the games, you have a bad time, but you're learning, you're having fun doing slightly different things. And I think fun for me now has become a lot more important than anything. Even if I go 0 and 16, if I had a great game on any FPS, I still think it's all about the fun that I have, not necessarily how well I do, what my KD ratio is, what my headshot percentage is. And yes, those are fun metrics to track, but are you having fun when you're doing it? All you're caring about is the numbers, then you're probably not having as much fun as you could be, at least in my opinion, or at least for me personally. Now, the beauty of War Thunder is that you don't have to be the person that gets all the kills. There are so many different ways that you can help the team. Things like calling out positions on the map, scouting enemy tanks, capturing zones, helping other teammates take down bigger targets, or even if you've been destroyed and you know where enemy positions are, you can come back in with close air support, drop bombs, help the team by, moving out, flushing out those entrenched enemies. Death will happen frequently and violently in this game. Suddenly you will be shot and you won't know where it's from. It will happen at least once. And that can be incredibly frustrating, but those games where you can play patiently You can outflank, outmaneuver the enemy, find the perfect place to hide and spot from, scout from, whatever it is. It's really, really rewarding. And as I said, I'm enjoying the process. Now, one of the ways you can sort of involve yourself in the process is when you've picked a nation, stick with that nation, work your way through their entire tree. So I've done that with the American faction. I did initially start with the Brits, but I found it quite difficult. Some of the guns didn't do the amount of damage that I wanted them to, and because I didn't have the experience of knowing where to shoot, it was more difficult. So I went down the sort of American route. I'm learning where to shoot enemy tanks. I'm kind of learning when to run away, which in this game is extremely important. Don't engage something you can't kill. Call it out, move on, seek cover, that sort of thing. But it is something I'm enjoying working my way through. As I say, I'm not particularly good at it, especially in the heat of combat or blind panic that I might find myself in when it comes to shooting tanks, but I'm enjoying it. And every so often you do that one click and then you've hit it in the perfect place and the tank blows up, and it's so satisfying. People will be a lot better than you. I mean, the game's been out, I think, since 2013 or something, so there are people that have genuinely played this game for 9-10 years, but it is something that as a new player, you know, because of the way that the system works, generally you are with people of the same skill level, at least when you start off with, and then eventually, you know, you can separate yourself. You can become really good at certain things, and you could specialize in, you know, AA, tank destroyer, medium tank, light tank, whatever it is, and you get to play around with it. There have been times for me where every single match in a 2-hour stretch has been terrible. What do? I close the game and I move on. One thing I have learned is that, you know, if something is frustrating you, don't keep doing it. Go and do something else. You know, step away from the computer, make a cup of tea, go and play a different game. Whatever it is you need to do. It's one of these games where I'm aware that it makes me frustrated, so I know how to deal with that, and that's kind of been really interesting. You know, you don't want to detract from your experience or your fun. And there can be a lot of learning in deaths in War Thunder, you know, learning what hills not to peek, getting that map knowledge, what not to engage, shell types, shooting in the wrong place, whatever it is. The game can let you see those replays from the matches. You can actually watch them, very akin to sort of theater mode from Halo. You can actually watch and you can see what's going on, so you can see why you died. So if you really want to take this really seriously and really learn and make notes, you certainly can't do that. Now, don't get me wrong, this game does have its problems. I'm not saying this is the perfect game and everyone should go and play it. My subject for this is just thinking about that balance between fun, being good, frustration. You know, it's a lot of things that happen to a lot of us, not just in a game like War Thunder. In a lot of different games, all of us can go through that. It's a free-to-play title, so there can be a bit of a grind if you're not willing to shell out some money. For me, I'm treating it like a free game. I don't want a grind fest. I don't want to come home after work and play a full-time job trying to grind tanks. For me, it's a game that's a fun little tank game. I can drive around, get some kills. Every so often, the game will reward me with a new tank. I'm not sitting there grinding, trying to get to the, you know, modern era, Cold War era, whatever it is. I'm enjoying taking my time as well. And that's about it for me today. I just had a few things there I wanted to bring up. Do you personally think it's better to be good or have fun? Are the two mutually exclusive? Let me know in the comments below. I hope you've enjoyed this slightly different video looking at a game I haven't featured before and talking about some more in-depth topics. Give me a like if you have enjoyed it and subscribe if you're new. That would really help me out. That'd be great. So far, I had a really good return to YouTube, so I thank you all so much for your support in the recent month. More videos to come next month. Hopefully we'll try some more live commentary gameplay. I haven't quite got the setup figured out for that. It might involve upgrading, getting a wee arm or something for the desk so that the mic's a bit easier to use for that sort of thing. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next video.